Oh my gosh, I just fell. This ain't it, sis. Check in with me and do your job. I don't know if I like the look of this. Yoo-hoo, Big Maria Blowout. She's back. It's been so long. Today, I was just feeling like talking to the camera. Sometimes you gotta recluse into your room by yourself. I totally just had to make my bed for this. I was just laying in my bed like 5 minutes ago. That is the real college struggle. So not too long ago, I had my 20th birthday. This was back in August. I was really reflecting on important things that I learned when I was 20 that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Stick around if this is the first video that you're seeing of me. My name is Maria. I typically do like a lot of college and lifestyle type videos, vlogs, week in my life. Whenever I go on trips, I'll do like travel stuff like that. I'm just your college gal, trying to make it, trying to get that degree. But this is what I'm learning in the process of it. The first thing that I learned in 20 years is that people change, and that's okay. Many times throughout my life, I've experienced various lessons that have happened with friends and family, especially friends though. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason and people are placed in your life for a reason. It took a couple of friendships changing and friendships ending and things like that. That's kind of where my firm belief in that comes from. I've just really become comfortable with the idea that like, okay, if a new person comes into my life and you get what you needed from them and you get what the purpose of them being in your life was for, and they taught you something or you learned something from them, then it's like time for them to maybe not be in your life anymore. It's not always the plan, it's not always the purpose for them to be in your life forever, which sometimes it's super hard because you build really, really good, strong relationships with people and either they change or they're only there for a certain reason and that's already been fulfilled. So it's like their job there is kind of done, like their job in your life is kind of done and it's been lived and ran its course. People change and that's okay. Me personally, I know I'm not the same person that I was when I was a freshman. Like I'm so different now, and that's a combination of maturity and learning from experiences that have happened to me in my life and just changing my own beliefs and perspectives and spending time with myself to really figure out like who I am as a person. Humans are built for change. We're built for growth and self-development and developing like others around us. That is all a part of like people change, and that's okay. Second thing I learned in 20 years, not everyone will give you their best. I think this kind of comes from just like how I am as a person, is that I just set really, really high standards for myself. I always have, always wanted to do the best and be the best at whatever I'm involved in, extracurricular activities, school, things like that have always been like super important to me. For a while, after I'd gotten used to expecting that of myself, I just started to expect that from other people, just because that's what I did for myself personally. Like, you can't expect the best of people all the time, and as like disheartening as that might be, I feel like that's a very like practical thing to have learned. I'm not saying that like I don't have faith in people that they will give you their best. If you're always expecting like 105,000% out of people, it's not always gonna happen because everyone also has their own lives and things that they're dealing with. So maybe not everyone will give you their best, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to shift your actions and the way that you approach situations. Just being aware of it is a super important thing. So I actually talked about this in my last video, my week in my life, so make sure to check that out. It'll be linked right there. It's been a really, really big theme in the past few months of my life, and I just think it's gonna carry even stronger in the coming months. So everything about perspective. Perspective is everything. Of course, there's real life obstacles and challenges that are presented, but the way that we approach these things that come to us in our life makes a really big difference. Okay, another thing that I learned by the time I was 20 is that pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is one of the best places for you to grow as a person. Being in an uncomfortable place and having to navigate that kind of situation that maybe you've never been in before really tests your skills. You come out of it almost always a better person. I failed and have learned something from that, or I was successful and I got to like sharpen my skills in that area, whether it be going in for the job interview and like totally tanking it, going to the career fair for the first time, going to do photography for the first time at a sporting event, and like getting progressively better each time. Whenever you're uncomfortable and maybe not in your best element where you think that you perform the best, it is really good to take yourself out of that element every once in a while, to really exercise those skills that you may already have or develop new ones and learn something from different people that are around you and different like situations and things, and learning how to navigate them I think is super important. All right, next. You cannot give people the opportunity to take advantage of you, because people will in the world. This is really hard to explain because there's so many different types of people out there, and I don't want to make a general like, oh, like if you're this type of person then you need to act this way, and if you're this type of person then you need to act this way. I think just being aware of situations where you could be taken advantage of. I think always just putting your best foot forward and being the most prepared and the most educated on whatever you're doing at the time as you can be, or willing to learn about it, is the best way to really indicate to people that, hey, like, I'm serious about this. I'm not one to be tampered with. Excuse my voices. They happen frequently. I just think it's super important to be able to stand your ground in situations where it really matters. It's okay to follow and it's okay to lead, but it's really important to learn when to do both. No, take a backseat, or be able to be that person to be like, hey, like, I'm gonna be a leader in this situation. I also don't think that it's appropriate or the best tactic to always be the front runner or to always take the back seat. The product doesn't function to the best of its ability when it's like that. Being aware of like yourself and the people around you, and really evaluating and analyzing where other people are fitting and what kind of positions that they're taking, and making yourself fit and accommodate to that. And I've definitely learned that throughout like being in organizations and working with other people. Like my on-campus jobs in college so far have taught me all of that. Or not all of that, but like really brought that to light for me. And the last one that I have for this video is that sacrifice can be rewarding. This came to light for me this past summer. For me, it was kind of like I crowded my schedule with so many things. Like I was so busy throughout the summer, and just going into school year, it's just definitely picked up so much. With that, I just find myself going. I feel like people everywhere do this also. It's like we get so lost in like everything that we have to do, and we don't give ourselves like the pat on the back that we deserve for like making it through all of this stuff. It was when I had a few interactions of people being like, oh, like maybe complimenting me on my videos or telling me like, wow, like you do so much, like how do you do all this? And I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Even if you're like running rampant and going and doing all these things, and it seems like maybe it's not getting anywhere, I think other people definitely take notice of it, and that's rewarding when other people take notice of it. Little sacrifices everywhere that like help you build your relationships, or just like make you grow as a person, or help you grow your relationships, overall put you in a better place than you were before. Those kind of little sacrifices just all add up to be like so rewarding whenever you are able to take a step back and look at them, or you have someone come up to you and be like, oh, like that was really awesome. I feel like that was a good way to end it, like a positive note. So don't forget to pat yourself on the back every once in a while. The sacrifices that you're making are probably not going unnoticed. And even if they are by other people, don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back, because that's necessary sometimes. We just talked about it. That is all I have for you guys today. Those are all the really important things that I learned in 20 years. Comment down below and tell me what you've learned like in your milestone age, like your top thing that you've learned just in your life. How about that? Because I like that. I like lessons like that. I like to hear about life experiences, and that's why I share mine. So I hope you guys liked it. Stay tuned for more college content if that's what you're here for, because girl, I am too. Also, as always, if you vibe, don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you all back on my channel for my next video. Bye.
Said I'll come back for you.